Welcome in. It's the Positively Petland Show, AM 800 KXIC. I'm Jay Capron. I hope you're doing well. As we get you going, we have Ron Salzrud with Petland of Iowa City, talking pets, as we do every Sunday in this 9 o'clock hour. So you're out and about, maybe getting ready for church, doing some grocery shopping, out and about, checking out Petland a little bit later on today. They're open at noon today if you're listening on Sunday. And, of course, you can always listen to this show on the podcast page at kxic.com. Just click podcasts, and you can listen to this show. And here's a suggestion. They're labeled, so if you have a certain breed and you want to hear more about that breed, go to that show. And we've got an archive. There's about 100 of them up there, and you can go back through. And if you have a German Shepherd, let's say, and you want to know what we have to say and what Ron has to say about the breed and learn a little bit about the breed, you can go find that show using the search tool, or just go back and start looking through the archives. And it's a lot of fun to kind of catch up and find out what Ron thinks about your breed and learn a little bit about their background. What I always like, that's one of the things I like most about this show, is learning something new every week. It seems like I learned something new. And today it's the miniature pinscher. That's our breed of the week. So we'll talk about that. We'll also have the amazing pet story of the week. And we'll ask, does your dog vomit? Yeah, I know, kind of a gross question, but it's also gross to be cleaning that up all the time. So Ron's going to see if he can help you out. How are things going, Ron?
Very good. That Lucky's Market, holy cow, that thing's
bustling, right?
Jeez, the parking lot. My wife made an observation. She went in there and said, "Oh man, that's a nice place." And then she goes, "And it's so nice to see over there that parking lot full."
Yeah,
it is more full than ever before.
And I mean, it is buzz. It's a new kid in town, so there's there's obviously gonna be some of that, but the fact is they've had success other places in similar communities, college towns, college cities. It's a good fit. The mayor of Iowa City called it a game changer when he was on my show, and that kind of stuck with me. That quote, he feels that it's going to be a game changer, and I kind of think, he's a smart man, and he's seen a lot of businesses come and go. And for him to say something like that, he doesn't say that all the time. And this particular fit for that particular slot, a busy traffic store like that, morning, afternoon, evening, drawing traffic not only to there, but then people are going to pull up for those groceries and say, hey, how about afterwards we go take a look at the puppies over next door, right? And they're going to,
there's going to be traffic going both ways on that.
Absolutely. And then, people come into your very, very busy, which it is. Your store has got to be one of the busier stores in the city, I would imagine, that foot traffic, because it's always somebody there when I'm there. And so same way, so you'll be helping them out. So nice little relationship there with Lucky's. So the miniature pinschers are breed. The vomiting thing we talked about. What else are we going to talk about?
Well, on the vomiting thing, we're going to talk about causes for your dog vomiting. And I know it's a gross topic, but it's something that a lot of us deal with. When do you see a veterinarian? We're going to go through some criteria for that. If it's food related and other related, we're going to talk about possible solutions. And then I've termed the last section of it, and cats are just another breed as far as that goes. And so we'll talk about, does your cat have that fur ball issue and all that kind of stuff? We'll talk about how can I solve that? Because I find people go too quick to the solution without discovering the cause and actually maybe preventing the cause for that.
That's a good one. I like that. And, thankfully, knock on wood, our cat does not have that issue. We had the older cat that you've heard me talk about, Sam, certainly towards the end of his life. He was a long-haired cat. He licked, and then he'd get those fur balls going. And that was gross. I mean, it became an issue, but he was an older cat. And I remember we talked about some solutions then, but I haven't had that issue for a while. But I know there's got to be listeners who are in that boat that are like, they look down, or even the worst is stepping in it, and see it there. Oh yeah,
we've all done it, and it's like, okay, how can I stop?
And if you're a pet owner, you've probably stepped in something else at some point. And so, but in this particular case, maybe you can provide some help for those owners. And that's another great thing about the show, helping to solve some problems. And we occasionally, and I'm sure but here at the station, occasionally I'll hear from a listener who a certain tip helped them out. But I know that's one of the things you take pride in at the store, is helping to find solutions to people. And at times, Ron, people probably want to come in and hug you and say, thank you, I don't have to clean up this anymore.
I do get hugs.
Yeah, but that's a good feeling.
Yeah, it is.
And I give my personal example, and I've been the
I give hugs out too, though.
free hugs. I've given my personal example, and this is not, Jay is saying this because he has to, is that ugly cat box. I'm telling you, every day we had the side entry box that you might have at your house, that cheapy box that you get, that the cat enters the side. The first thing, we had a kicker. And Zoe, she's never comfortable. She'll go and she won't just do a few kicks. She kicks and kicks and kicks. And they're every day, sweep it up, sweep it up. And then one day we're on the show, Ron's like, yeah, we have this box. You go into the top. Such a simple idea. And I'm like, why not try that out? Try it out. I haven't gone back since. It's just a simple solution, but it saved me that you step in litter or you every day sweeping it up. It's a pain in the butt.
I know. And we're talking about a litter box. Isn't it funny? And we're excited about it.
I'm excited about it. Yeah.
I think I freaked out one customer yesterday.
Too excited?
Yeah. I get excited when people talk with me about their, I got this problem. I go, okay, I got a solution for you. And I go, I'm going to apologize. I'm going to get really excited about the litter box right now. And I think on the way out, she was very, like, oh yeah, this is great. This is great. And I think when she was finally walking out, she's like, holy cow, that guy was over the top.
What a weirdo.
So it is it solves so many problems.
Did she get the box?
Oh yeah. She actually had the kicking issue. Her first issue was the door on my litter box is always getting knocked off. And I go, well, that's a safety feature. They got to do that because you can't have the cat stuck. And I go, so you're going to always have that problem? I go, let's eliminate the door and solve the problem. And I go, tell me any other issues you have. And she said, kicking, like you said. And I go, then I have to, prompt it a little bit. How's that tracking, the cat tracking? Oh, I hate that. Yeah. I go, okay, we're going to solve that too. And I know the cat people out there right now go, oh yeah, I've heard that before. No, this thing really works.
It seriously does. And I'm a testimonial to that. That's why I want you to go. If you have a cat, go to Petland this weekend, get that box, try it out. I'm telling you, it enters through the top. There's a hole in the top. It goes into the top. It does its business, and then it climbs back out. So everything it does in there stays in there. It's a great box. It's the world's ugliest cat box. So don't show it off as a showpiece. I'm imagining most people aren't doing that for their cat box anyway. But it doesn't look the best, but it's effective. So I got sidetracked there talking about the cat box.
Well, you're reviewing the show, and we're also going to review the food Stella and Chewy's. It is a freeze-dried food, and if you're not doing this with your dog or cat today, I'm just going to get you excited about dog and cat food. And this is you're not going to change to this. You're going to mix it in with what you're doing right now, and you're going to get excited about doing this. So
add it to the old rotation, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, here's what we're going to do then. We're going to do the amazing pet story of the week, and here he is. Oh my goodness, he's dressed like Uncle Sam.
You could have predicted that.
It's time for the amazing.
That hat is tall.
That's a tall hat.
He's so short, and he had a duck as he was going through the door.
Well, you could tell he's on stilts. That's why he had the duck. He's wearing the stilts. He's got his tall hat, his big beard. It's the red, white, and blue patriotic. 4th of July was yesterday, though, buddy, right? All right, anyway. He's patriotic all weekend long, he said. Amazing pet story of the week. Thanks, big voice guy. Today we talk about Brutus. Brutus, a 7-year-old golden retriever who became a hero back in 2004. He picked up a coral snake as it was slithering dangerously close to a young child. He suffered a near deadly bite. The coral snake did bite him, and he was taken to a Los Angeles hospital and was able to be saved there. He received the National Hero Dog Award, and they say when they get this away, they're looking for something special, something that makes people wonder why a dog would do what a dog does sometimes and put himself in danger. Brutus, the 7-year-old at the time golden retriever, jumping in front of a young child and picked up a coral snake as it was going towards that baby. And so Brutus and almost died in the process, but we try and keep the death at a minimum here at the amazing pet story.
What do you get the fun, the happy ending?
A little background on that, if you're new to the show, is that we've been doing the amazing pet story now for about 4 or 5 years, and there's a stretch where I think it was probably like 2 months in a row where every single story that I did, the dog or the person died in it. So Ron put a rule in, and I gotta screen these and make sure that it's not just death week after week. So a good story there. And I also was commenting, I remember last week during the show, about how I'm amazed we've been doing it so long, and I still keep coming up with stories that of all these amazing dogs. And you think about, these are just the ones that are published. I mean, how many guys at the corner bar or at the restaurant talking with their family are like, did you see what our neighbor dog did yesterday? I mean, they're not always published, but a lot of cool stories.
Oh yeah, plenty of them out there.
They're parts of our family, and they save our lives at times. It's amazing. It's the amazing pet story of the week, and we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the miniature pinscher. That is the breed of the week. We're going to talk about, it's kind of gross, vomiting. But we're going to find a way to help stop your dog and cat from vomiting. So we'll have that. And what is that food again?
Stella and Chewy's.
Stella and Chewy's.
The big red bag.
The big red bag. I have no idea what you're talking about. You'll have to tell me about that. Coming up next on the Positively Petland Show. I'm Jay Capron. That's Ron Salzrud. Check out Petland of Iowa City, right across from the Sycamore Mall. Now we can start saying right across from Lucky's, right? There you go. And a very busy place. Check them out. They open up at noon today if you're listening on Sunday. Other days of the week, you guys open up at 10.
10, open till 9.
Open till 9. We're done with this segment. We'll be right back with more after this. Actually, you said open till 9, but on Sundays, you're only open till like 6, right? But all other days till 9.
Yes.
We'll be back with more after this. AM 800 KXIC. Check out KXIC.com and the Petland website, PetlandIowaCity.com. Back with more after this. Have a good one. Welcome back. It's the Positively Petland Show, AM 800 KXIC. I'm Jay Capron. Ron Salzer's here, owner of Petland of Iowa City, with he and his wife, Wendy, who he once invited to a Peter Gabriel concert, and she turned him down.
There's a story
we've learned. And also, we've already gotten into the show. We talked about Brutus, the 7-year-old golden retriever who became a hero back in 2004, saving a little child from a poisonous snake. And we also got a little bit into some of the topics of the day, kind of set the table a bit. And coming up here on the show, we're going to talk about the breed of the week. The breed of the week this week is the miniature pinscher. We're going to talk about something gross that happens with your dogs and cats, and that's when they puke, when they vomit, when the little something comes up there, and you are left to clean it up. It's never fun, but guess what? Ron can help you with that. So we're going to talk about that for dogs and cats, and he's going to talk about the big red bag. It's called Stella and Chewy's, and that's going to be the food of the week. We're going to talk about that's going to be something that you're going to kind of supplement and add to your dog's rotation and make them happy that they have something else tasty to eat. So all of those topics to get to. Ron, I say we start with the miniature pinscher. Sound good?
It sounds good.
All right.
So I always like to ask a question out there. So let's just be direct. Does the miniature pinscher originate from the Doberman pinscher?
No relation
at all.
Am I right?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, it does. I mean, everybody would agree. Gosh, don't they look alike?
They do.
But there is no relation to that. So do you remember from the past? What do you think?
No.
The miniature pinscher is mainly a mixes of what two breeds?
I don't admit. Let me pull up miniature.
Oh, don't be.
I want to see what they look like. I'm not going to cheat.
Oh, you're having a little hard time.
I want to see what the picture looks like of a miniature.
Just picture a Doberman pinscher, but like really, really small.
Okay, so they're black.
Yeah, they do come in black and tan.
And tan, right? Are they all black and tan?
No.
Okay.
Some of them can come in red. Some can come in brown. Some can come in a two-tone brown.
I'm going to say, is there any dachshund in there?
Oh.
Is there?
Yes.
But then the ears.
So, the ears, that is cosmetic surgery on most Doberman pinschers. That is
the cropped ears. Like
yeah.
Okay, so
I'm right about the dachshund. Condemn.
No, I know people like it. Some people think
do.
It's cruel, but I know people have their opinions on that.
Kind of glossed over. There is, if you step back on that issue, boy, is there a passionate argument on both sides.
Is there really?
Oh yeah,
I'm sure you hear it, and I'm going to say Jack Russell. No, okay. I have a buzzer, but anyway, go ahead.
It is the Italian Greyhound.
Okay.
So you've got, that's where the lanky legs on a miniature pinscher come from, is the Italian Greyhound.
Oh, they are
and
cute.
Some of that body structure that you see there. But then just put a side by side a little miniature Doberman pinscher with a dachshund, and you can see colors.
That's
and
where I
head
got the
shapes
dachshund.
and
Yeah,
all
the
that
head shape and the color.
Oh yeah,
I've seen the black and tan dachshunds before, so it looked like a dachshund with pointy ears. For the one I was looking at with longer legs.
And because of its, when we look at it, we have some perceptions of what it looks like and everything. They call it the king of toys because king of toy dogs. Because it just is so regal. It looks so dominant.
It's regal.
But it is a spunky little breed that is just all about play and all that. If you are looking for energy packed into a small body, this is it. This little guy is going to just have a ton of fun. It's going to take on characteristics of both that dachshund and that Italian Greyhound. That dachshund, remember when we talk about dachshunds, they're that great universal dog that will play, and then when you sit down, it wants to get right on your lap and get underneath the blanket that's on you or whatever. They're just that cuddly dog then. So they go both from play to cuddly. And then the Italian Greyhound, when they're ready to play, it's like, play now. And then in about 5-10 minutes, oh, I am so tired.
Done.
They're that Greyhound that just, they expel it so quickly, and they're so lean that they just can't sustain it for a long period of time like a large breed dog could. And so they combine those two together, and you got the little miniature pinscher. Pinscher means terrier, which is interesting because there's really there could be a terrier in the past and all that, but in German, pinscher refers to terrier. It does come from the Germany, and so that's where the breed originates from. And then the height of it at the shoulders kind of average around 10 to 12 inches, and so that's a smaller dog. It's a very lean dog as far as that goes. Nothing like a pug or anything like that. This guy's lean and mean like that. Oh, in Germany, they were known as a ratter, and I always kind of find these terms funny. It's a ratter. So it must have been something that the farms had to take care of the rodents and things like that around the farm. It is a shedding dog. However, it is a small dog. Realize that there is no such thing as a non-shedding dog. There are lower shedding dogs for sure. The miniature pinscher, the hair does not grow long, so that means it sheds. But it's because of its small structure, you really won't see much of that fur around unless you have like a white couch or something like that, where there's a contrast in colors. You're going to notice it there. In our house with our dachshund, she sheds. But I never see it anywhere around until I'm washing her. And then in the white sink, I go, wow, there is a lot of hair coming off you right now. So know that. Also know that it is known as, when they're smaller dogs and they're still shedding, they still classify them as the hypoallergenic, those that have issues with allergies. This might be one to try, only because it's a smaller dog. It's going to have less allergens as a result. So it's a good combination there to try if that's one of the concerns that you have. I always say, if allergy is your issue, play with the dogs for multiple days over time. See if you get reactions at all. Especially play with them up in your neck and facial area so that you get good inhalation of the allergens, and you can see if there's a reaction. Obviously, this is all at your own discretion. And then also, as they're the skin on the neck is a little thinner, and I know I have allergies. If I'm going to get an allergy and it touches me in that area, then I get a little bit of an itchy area and all that kind of stuff. So it's a good thing to try for those people doing that. Grooming is fairly easy, because there's not much you do. Can wash them in the sink, that easy, or take them in the shower. It's really easy to wash them up because they're so small. exercise level like we talked about. I'd say in the moderate level, but this is something that you can have in an apartment. Because of the size of the dog can run around and all that kind of a thing in your apartment and really get all the exercise out that it needs. But this guy will also love to go for walks. Unlike those dachshunds and those Yorkies out there that they walk for a block and then go, okay, pick me up. The miniature pincher is going to have a little more energy and go for a little longer on that. So that is miniature pincher.
Nice.
In a minute.
The miniature pincher. So if you would like to know more about that, of course, you can always stop by and talk to you can talk to Ron or any of the great people you have working there. And do you have any of these right now at the store?
We have. I think we have 5.
Whoa.
And we have all different colors. So we have the black and tan. We have the red, we have the brown two-tone, we have all sorts of different kinds, males, females. So come in, play with them, check them out. They're a fun breed to play with.
Very cool. Now, what if your miniature pincher or whatever other type of dog or cat you have is having that issue? Now, we'll separate it between dogs and cats because the cats are doing it for maybe a little bit of a different reason. Is that?
Oh, there's some.
Right, yeah.
Are we switching our topic to vomiting?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, so yes, there are some common related issues, and then we'll address some of those. Boy, cats, you're a special breed because of the whole hairball issue. So we'll handle that as well. A lot of us have these issues with our dogs and cats, and it's frustrating because you don't know why it's happening. And so I wanted to go through, some warning signals that, hey, if this is happening, go see your veterinarian. I'm not capable. I'm not a veterinarian. I am not going to address those issues. That is something that you want to address with your veterinarian. But there are some other issues that we can talk about that are common, and we can see if we can help your pet get over those issues and have a more pleasant stomach going forward. So I put together some things, if this is happening, see your vet now.
Okay.
Does the vomit contain blood?
Yeah, that's a big one.
Go see your vet now.
Right.
Pet has been exposed to a toxin. See your vet now. Pet has no appetite and or is lethargic. Go see your vet now. These are all serious issues that you need to have a professional diagnose. Has had diarrhea for more than 2 days. That's a go see your vet now type issues. Has no bowel movement for the last 24 hours. There's something going on there, and you want to investigate. So again, see your vet now. And then finally, is in pain or your pet is getting worse, not better. Those are all good signs where, hey, engage your veterinarian now. Mm-hmm. We call our veterinarian, Dr. Ebert, and say, hey, we're seeing this. What should we do? And they coach us through it. And Dr. Ebert doesn't always say, and come on in, kind of thing. She coaches us over the phone. Hey, I think it might be this. We're in a safe zone right now. Or there was one time when Callie ate chocolate.
Yeah, you've told that story.
And and it was a lethal dose of chocolate. And Dr. Ebert coached us through the process. The time that she had it already in her stomach was quite lengthy because we were away from the house when it happened.
Yeah.
And she reassured us that we were through the danger zone.
And she's going to make it. She's,
right.
Already there, right?
Right.
Thing,
And so she coached us on what to do at that point. And so, realize your veterinarian.
Does she make house calls, by the
way? I don't know. I'm sure she'd be.
Because I know one of my, actually my mother-in-law's vet, and I'd never really heard or thought about that, but that's their regular, I don't even know. I think, he does have an office, but that's one of the things he does. I think part of his practice is going to houses so that people don't have to take their vets to the clinic, or their pets to the clinic. Yeah. So interesting. But you take your dog to her.
Yeah. I recently have been at trade shows, and they've talked about that, where there's more and more visits being made to homes for different specific reasons. Elderly with pets, that kind of a thing, and making house calls and make sure everything is going right and well and everything on both parts. So so that I don't know though.
Okay.
Call Dr. Ebert's office.
See if she will.
She's Gentle Heart Pet Clinic in Iowa City. Give her a call and find out.
All right. Give them a shout out.
So those are some we just covered, reasons of why, hey, don't mess with this. Call your veterinarian. If you suspect that it's food related, we'll go through some, what could it be and how can some scenarios of what you're seeing and all that kind of stuff. And again, if you're seeing those other issues like what we just talked about, go see your veterinarian. But if you suspect it's a food related issue, here's some things that you can do. So I think a lot of us know about if you're transitioning of foods for your dog, and you're noticing there's some upset stomach type issues, a long-term issue or a long-term approach that we've had for many, many years is do it over a 5 to 7 day period. And there's nothing scientific about as far as, how much and when. It's just proportional. So, the first day is mainly the old dog food with the new dog, with a little bit of the new dog food. And then the next day you put a little bit of the more of the new dog food and less of that. And you just gradually transition it over a 5 to 7 day period. That helps the bacteria, the enzymes, the things that are in that dog's stomach adjust to that. And so some dogs have issues with a rapid change in their digestive system. And that's when they then, start vomiting and having issues like that if it is food related. And so that's how you handle it. I am noticing quite a few of the bags now have proportional, kind of give you a pictorial picture, a visual of what that looks like with a chart and all that kind of stuff. So just check the bag as well. Nutro has it on theirs. Science Diet has it on there. So some of those real premium brands are knowing that these are issues that you're struggling with, and they're putting the directions right on the bag for that. Also, if I didn't change my food. Did you change anything in that diet? Did you feed them some food scraps today? Did you introduce a new treat? Did you introduce a new toy, maybe a new natural toy like a bone or an antler or something? And maybe that's having the issue. You don't necessarily have to throw the thing out unless it's really, really, not a good thing. Again, transitioning, give them a shorter period of time with that new chew. I noticed with my own dog, and just yesterday, there was a little a white fluffy dog, just like our little Susie at home, and I noticed that the dog had picked out a trachea for a chew. And I know if you don't know that there's all kinds of parts that we have in the store.
Yeah.
These are natural things that our dogs normally would eat. And so it picked it up and said, "This is my favorite treat. I want to have it." And the customer even said, "Yeah." And she went into the box with all the tracheas to pick it out. She goes, "So she must really like it." And I said, "Oh, here, let me caution you a little bit of what I've experienced. With tracheas, they can be a little crunchy, and the dog is really, really intense with it and will want to eat the whole thing. For your little dog, that's too much." Little Susie ate a whole trachea and then spent the rest of the day with an upset stomach. And so I said, just give it to her in waves, and you have to gauge it based on your dog's tenacity for that chew.
And take it away from her.
Because you can't say give it for 10 minutes and that's it, because the dog might eat it in 10 minutes. So gauge this with your dog. So take into consideration the size of your dog and the size of this treat. If it's a trachea, this thing was about 8 inches long and 2 inches in diameter. That's just too much to digest in one sitting. So give it to them, and after they consume, a small portion of it, take it away. Hey, you got the treat now for a while instead of doing the gluttony thing and just doing it all at once, and then give it to them in doses. So supervise that and adjust according to your dog's nature as far as how that goes. With all that, pay attention to your dog as far as we talked about, the treat and the dog. You want to supervise that, especially on the front end. I know we have the tendency, and I do as well, to once you've seen them do it a couple of times, hey, life is good, and you let them go. with that treat, realize it's always a risk. And so no matter what treat you're feeding, there's always a risk of them inhaling that and getting obstructions and all that kind of stuff. So it's like our children. We got to have that, that eye just on them, watching them in the corner there just to make sure everything is good. If you have a puppy, realize that they don't understand how small that throat is. And they think they can get the biggest thing down it. And that's what you have to really work with your puppy on, is don't give them things that they can inhale. It's much better to give them a big treat that they'll lick and kind of work around, but they can't get it down their throat, than to give those smaller things that can be an obstruction when you're not looking. So puppies take extra care because they don't realize that throat is so small. And they'll try to inhale bigger things. Rawhides as a chew, especially for a puppy. These things are all what the dog. We're still on the vomiting theme. Small
still
dog,
talking about vomit.
Yeah, the small dogs will go after the rawhides, and rawhides as a chew is really not recommended for the puppies and are a caution. They usually are good for the large dogs, so that's why we can, there's so much consumption of them. But as a puppy, you really have to supervise the play and the chew, because it can come off in larger clumps. When you're not looking. It's soft enough to like kind of mold into their throat, but it's still too big to get all the way down. So now again, you got your dog vomiting and you're not sure why. Our little Callie at 2 years old, she cannot have rawhides to this day because she will get it off in a big chunk. And Callie swallowed it, and we were lucky enough to be there when it was happening, and we had to go down and get it out because it was not going to be a good thing if we allowed it to continue that way. So she was obstructed at that point. So supervise the play, select your treats and chews carefully. Make sure you're taking into consideration the size of your dog, the age of your dog. All of those are important to consider. I just had a story. It was a few days ago. A customer came in and was telling me about how their adult dog just likes to consume things. And it's kind of the Marley concept. And, how bad can it get? Well, they noticed a sock was missing, and they went, "Oh shoot, she ate." And they know she's into the sock category and that she likes to eat them. And they noticed that there was some uncomfortableness. The dog was doing a little bit of heaving. There was some uncomfortableness with the dog, some personality changes with the dog. And so they did take their dog into the veterinarian and into the emergency room, in fact, in this case. And they had to do an emergency operation because there was an obstruction. So this is how bad this can get if we don't supervise this. And when they opened that dog up, they not only found the sock, they found 2 toys, and they found a lot of sticks.
Wow.
So this dog has been, who knows how long that was in there.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot more going on, and that sock just complicated the whole effort inside. And $5,000 later, the dog is surviving, and that customer is now much more cautious about what they allow that dog to have.
Got to be careful.
So just a good lesson to learn from somebody else, not yourself, and go, okay, I'm going to take that caution. So now switching it. So we talked a lot about, why do dogs vomit, food, chews. We talked a little bit about obstructions that can occur as well. Now, cats are a special breed. Okay, so we all know that the cats groom themselves, and they groom them by licking their fur and all that kind of stuff. What I find is a lot of people will go straight to the solution of hairball formulas and the malt type products that you can do. These are all great products. They definitely do help, without a doubt. There's people that are on these. The cats are getting it on a continuous basis. And getting good relief consistently. My thing is let's take this back a couple of steps and see if we can do more prevention as opposed to just solving the problem as it occurs. Good nutrition is your number one way of of slowing down the shedding process of your cat. So we know that omega-3s and fatty acids help our skin. They actually help the cats and dogs as well, and that slows down the shedding process. It doesn't eliminate it, but it makes for a healthier skin and coat, which is proven that then they shed less as a result. So that's your number one way of preventing the hairballs, or if you have a dog, preventing shedding in this case. The next thing is proper grooming of your cat. And so what am I going to talk about?
The Furminator.
The Furminator. The Furminator, while it is an expensive brush, it is the most effective brush for de-shedding your cat and dog hugely. It has a claim of 92% effective rates. In fact, it's getting 92% of all the fur off that cat or that dog. What we do in our house, we're that typical person that buys the thing, says, holy cow, it works, and then we don't use it for a month or two. And then we do it all over again and all that. The best way, and what they recommend with this brush is that you do it on a weekly basis. The first time you do it, you're going to be there for a half an hour. But if you do it on a weekly basis, it's more like 5-10 minutes and you're done, kind of a thing. So it's a quick one. I do know, and can test my testament is when we furminate our cat, especially when Emily is home from college, she is a tenacious furminator in our house because she has allergies, and she knows that if she does that, her allergies are less in our house. So she has a good motivation. Well, she does it every week. And our cat, normally, if it gets on the couch and all that kind of stuff, it leaves the fur everywhere. When we use the Furminator, we don't see it anymore. And we're like, man, we got to keep doing that. Why do we stop it? And it's just because you get distracted. Now, translate this to the cat grooming itself. There is a lot less hair consumption when you furminate your cat. So you're preventing the hairball issues from even occurring. Doesn't it make sense?
Yeah, it does.
But you don't quite go there on the front end. And if you don't know about the Furminator, or if you're still questioning it or whatever, come on in and we'll show it to you. Yes, it's an expensive brush. It's guaranteed. We do give your money back if it doesn't meet your needs and it doesn't do what we're talking about, because Furminator stands behind it. They give our money back too. So don't even be cautious or whatever on that. Go get the thing and realize how great a comb this is. Realize also, this is what the groomers use. They literally buy the same exact brush that we have, the Furminator, for them. And they'll even advertise it as, hey, we'll do the furmination treatment. And, they call it that even. Yeah. So they're telling you what they're doing. So it's a really, really effective.
Here's a question. When your daughter when Emily does the furminating, you said she has allergies. So does that bother her during the process?
She does it outside.
Okay.
So that she has good ventilation. So she's not getting it. When you do the Furminator, the picture on the box shows a lot of fur that around the pet to demonstrate, look at how much you're going to get off your cat or dog. And we do it outside during the summer months. For Emily, that's when she's doing it. And then she doesn't get her allergic reaction kind of thing. She doesn't have a violent reaction. It's just a sniffly nose, sneezing, all that kind of stuff. And then also the mess is outside as opposed to in your house. In the wintertime, I actually do it in the shower. And so that I have a plastic bag that I'm pushing the hair into, but I also am containing it is a mess. Kind of a thing. It's a temporary mess, and it's easy to clean up when you do it that way. But I do it in the shower, and then after I'm all done, I take that bag of hair out of the shower, and we both get a bath at that point, or a shower. And that we'll talk about bathing as well here in a second. How do you bathe your cat? But that's a little bit of advice on how to use that Furminator effectively. Sometimes when we buy things, we go, holy cow, that's so cool. But then you get what you paid for. This thing really did take out a lot of fur. And you realize, wow, this is a mess. So the tricks that we've learned over the years is do it outside if you can. If you can't, do it in the shower or in the bathtub so you can confine the cat or the dog and contain the messy stuff. In the winter months, the fur gets statically charged and it starts sticking to things. And so like if you're in your laundry room, it starts sticking to the cabinet and the rug and the floors and you're like, ah. And so if you do it in the shower or the bathtub, it's a lot easier.
All right, cool.
So brushing prevents it. Second thing, then we talked about bathing. Hey, if you have that cat, and I think everybody has this cat that doesn't like baths, I finally figured out a couple years ago, go into the shower with the cat. It is so much easier. When you're in the sink, they're like, meow, meow, you know, and you're trying to hold them down and not get bit, and it's not an easy thing. Take them into the shower, and you're going to find a whole different experience. They don't like it, but they don't fight it. And
well,
so
I'm just more like rain, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I is exactly what I think of it. And I get them wet, and then they usually don't mind me lathering them up, and so that's not a big deal. And then I rinse them off. And so I also was talking with a customer yesterday on your cats. Get a conditioner and not the combo products. The ladies out there know that the combo products don't work as good as far as conditioners go. We have a BioGroom Argan Oil shampoo that I use religiously. Boy, do I love that shampoo. Ladies, you're using it on your hair. Wait till you get BioGrooms for your dog or cat. That thing works phenomenal. And then I have the BioGroom Silky Rinse. That thing is the best conditioner I've ever had for cats or dogs. And wow, are they so silky smooth after you're done. Now you've removed all the loose fur as well from bathing your cat after you've groomed them, you know, doing the Furminator and all that, and you can scratch their fur and that fur doesn't come up anymore. It's that effective of a program. So brushing and then bathing your cat. And then the fourth thing that I always bring out is what everybody knows about is the hairball treatments. You can get hairball treatments in the food that you buy. You can, if your favorite food doesn't have that aspect to it, which they actually all do to some degree, but some of them have it more intensively. And then you can also supplement it with the mults and the different treatments, and just come into the store and we'll show you the different alternatives that you can give your cat to do that. Greenies has a little greenie that inside it has a little encapsulated program to help the hairball. Coy, our inventory manager, uses that for his cat as a supplement, and he says he gets great results off of not producing all those vomiting episodes with his cat and hairballs. So that is cat and dog vomiting.
Cat and dog vomiting. All right. I love it.
Do we have time for a little Stella and Chewy?
We do. That's the last part of the show.
All right. So I have been bringing in, and Coy, our inventory manager, has been bringing in raw diets for cats and dogs. And we're trying to figure it out with the rest of the world. Realize the coasts, both East and West Coast, man, they are in this. They've got, when you go into pet stores over there, freezer aisles of this stuff. I mean, this isn't just small stuff. They're like going crazy with it. We're just figuring it out here in the Midwest. We've had Instinct in our store for multiple years in the freezer, and we have freeze-dried foods and freeze-dried treats. And when we went to a trade show this year, I was just saying, I go, gosh, we're just not figuring it out here. I know, people are buying it and all that, but I'm not sure why they're not getting as excited as I am about this. I think it's so cool to do this kind of a thing. And so what we did at the trade show and what we got some consulting on is bring in multiple varieties. And if you've ever been in retail, there's this interesting concept. If you have variety and quantity, they will buy, kind of a thing. And so what we did is we actually now have 3 different raw food diets, both in the freezer kind of products and in the freeze-dried products. So we've got Instinct, like what we have for years, and it's a great product. We're in the process of bringing in Stella and Chewy's. We actually have the freeze-dried, and we have some of their frozen in. And then we're going to bring in, oh gosh, it just went out of my head. Instinct, I believe it's called. No, I said that. Oh, Primal. It was another one of those guttural words. Primal.
Instinct, Primal.
Primal is the third one that is, I think in another couple of weeks, we'll get that in the store. So now we've got the variety. So now why do this and how do I introduce it to my dogs? I'm not going to just switch to this stuff, nor would I recommend you. What they all talk about, all 3 of those manufacturers, they go, hey, these are what we call mixers. Mix it in with your current diet. So why would you do it and all that kind of stuff? We'll get into that. But that's how you want to introduce it into your dog. And I probably is the extent you're going to go. You're not going to switch your kibble all the time. You're going to have your kibble as your main diet. And then these are some that you're going to just sprinkle over the top or give it as a treat to enhance the diet of your dog. And this goes back to a little bit of the vomiting kind of a thing, because you're going to introduce some really good things into their gut that help them have a calmer stomach. So why would I feed a raw diet like a frozen or a freeze-dried? Some of them are just because it entices picky eaters. You've not cooked this product through and through, so it has a lot of smells in it that the dogs and cats love. And so if you're trying to entice them to eat, maybe they're a little under the weather and you need them to bring them back. This is a great product to do. An extra boost for nutrition. Because it's not cooked, you now have preserved a lot of the really good things that sometimes get cooked out. This is the same thing that we battle with in our own digestive systems. We know that if we eat raw vegetables, they're better than eating those cooked ones. I know the cooked ones taste so good, but the raw ones have more of that stuff in it that are good for us. The raw also introduces the enzymes and some of the bacteria that are really needed for our gut. Again, so if your dog is having some vomiting type issues, maybe a mild issue, this would be something that you could introduce and see if it works for your dog. And then it enhances the probiotics and antioxidants in their diet. So that's what all of these frozen foods and freeze-dried foods do for your dog. I get excited about that just because I'm like, oh, good, my dog's going to get healthier. It's something that they need. It's not a subjective thing. It's actually a factual thing. Hey, I want to try this. And you don't have to go buy this massive bag. Just buy a small bag and mix it into their diet in a small way. And so Stella and Chewy's, I've been trying it at home. My dogs are digging this. One dog was a little skittish on the front end and had to sniff it for a couple of minutes. Now when I get it out, just jumps and says, give me that thing.
Nice.
Callie the dachshund, she'll eat anything. Holy cow.
Put it in front of her, right?
All right, I'll eat it.
Good deal. That's Ron Salzer with Petland of Iowa City. We are out of time as we wrap up the show here. It's been a lot of fun going back to where we started this morning. We had a golden retriever, Brutus, that saved a little child from a coral snake. We talked about the miniature pincher was the breed of the week today. We talked about how you could stop your dog from vomiting from the source. Start from the nutrition. Talk about the hair and the removal of the hair. And then also, of course, part of that's the furminator and staying with that and washing your dog as well. It all kind of ties in together. And then we also just heard about Stella and Chewy's. Lots of great products available at Petland of Iowa City. Ron, as we go to break, tell us about your store.
We're Petland of Iowa City. We're located across from Marketplace Mall, also where that new Lucky store just went in. We're right across the mall from that. We're all about playtime. When you come in, we encourage play because we're all about educating you and, is this the right pet for you? Or are you just in to have some fun time? We're there to facilitate all that. We also are all about educating you on the pets that you have at home. Do you have that thing that, you probably are complacent about, whether your dog is having a little potty issue, a little bitey issue, anything like that? We try to help you through those kind of things. Does he keep on urinating in the same spot in my house? What the heck is that all about? We like to work with you on those things and show you what is happening, why it's happening, and then how to solve those issues. So come on in. If you just want to play, we're here for you. If you want to learn a little bit more, we're here for you as well. We got, everything from the cats and dogs. Everybody knows about those, but we got hamsters and rabbits and guinea pigs and ferrets and lizards and reptiles and fish. It just keeps on going on and on. So come on in, have some fun with us.
Absolutely. Located right off Lower Muscatine. That's Petland of Iowa City. Check them out. This has been the Positively Petland Show. Gotta go. Till next Sunday. Bye.
Also